and welcome back to the Silver Swanner channel. This is the 38th video in my US typeset series, and today we'll be adding a 1797 Draped bust large set to the typeset. So before we talk about the large set, let's talk about a couple of channel related items. The first is I am running a giveaway when we reach 250 subscribers. We are north of 200 now, so that giveaway will be happening sooner than later. If you still haven't entered yet, I'll leave a link in the description below to the comment video where you can enter that giveaway. The next thing I want to talk about is a little bit of a change in the order that we've been adding coins to the typeset. We've been trying to add a coin to a different page every week. That will continue, but we should have been adding a coin to the gold page this week before returning to the half cent page, but simply I don't have a gold coin to add at this time. So because of either my budget or simply we've run out of coins for that particular page, the order, while trying to maintain doing a new page in order, I won't exactly be able to do that moving forward here. All right, so now let's talk about large cents, but let's talk about a little bit of the history of the large cent, because the Draped bust large cent was not the first large cent that the US Mint produced. The Mint had actually started producing large cents in 1793, which started with the flowing hair large cent, for which they made about 100,000 examples. These were made for circulation, but because there was so few of them, they were made so long ago, they are quite expensive. The Red Book estimates their value and about good 3 condition around $4,800, almost $5,000. So the Intercept typeset album, as well as the Dansko for that matter, they both started with the Draped bust large cent, which was actually the third large cent that the US Mint produced. So the second example then is the Liberty cap, and there were about a million or so of those produced, and again, both of them being Intercept and Dansko decided to leave that coin out as well. In the Intercept typeset album, the only coin that was produced in the 1700s that is included in the album is the Draped bust large cent. So I made it a point that for this coin, I was going to get an example that was produced in the 1700s, so I could say that in my album, I did have a coin from the 1700s. So let's talk a little bit then about the specifics of the Draped bust large cent. It was designed by Robert Scott, and it features on the obverse the bust of, wait for it, Liberty. So a very common theme that we've seen throughout a lot of coins that we've reviewed on this channel, and even very early on in the history of the Mint, were they depicting the bust of Liberty. Liberty has her hair tied with a bow, so it's a very prominent feature that is included in the depiction of her bust as well. Above the words Liberty, just in case it wasn't clear what the bust was depicting, is the word Liberty, and at the bottom of the bust of Liberty is the date. On the reverse of the coin, it features the word 1 cent that is wrapped around a wreath of olive branches, and then surrounding the wreath is the words United States of America, and then below the wreath is the fractional denomination, so 1/100. There are, as there are with many early US coins, a variety of examples because of all the different dyes that were produced. The coins were at that time minted with handmade dye, so there's always little differences, and we take a look at the coin under the microscope. We'll talk about that in a little bit more detail. So as always, stick around for that. We'll then add the coin to the album. I'll share with you the updated album photos. And finally, I'll tell you what I paid for the coin. So stick around. Okay, and welcome back, everyone. I forgot to mention earlier in my discussion about the Draped bust large set that, like most early U.S. coinage, because the dies were handmade, there are several varieties. This one, I'm laughing to myself, is pretty obviously in poor one condition. In the Red Book, they say that about good 3 is the coin is identifiable. But if you start to look at PCGS, photo grade, especially when we're looking at the reverse here, you can really see in the photo grade much more the outlines of the wreath. And here on the bottom here, I would say that the wreath is pretty visible. I'll try and kind of move it around a little bit so the light hits it different, and I don't think you can see very well the top of the coin at all. So it's clearly very, very worn. We can see a little bit of the outline, again, of United States of America that completely encircles the wreath. There is a variety here that is with stems or without stems, where the wreath is tied together with a little bow. I don't think you can make that out. There's a little bit of a difference at the top of the wreath with how many flower buds are on there. Clearly can't make that out. We can't see 1 cent here in the middle. We do see a little bit of damage here, but usually for older coins like this, PCGS and NGC for that matter won't consider them damaged, especially since you can see the toning that's occurred in there. It looks like it's quite old. We can see on the reverse here the denomination here, 1/100. The size obviously matches a large cent, and then if we go back to the obverse here, the depiction of Liberty here is quite clear. This is a bow in her hair that's tying some of her hair back. We have a clearly visible date here, 1797, and we see the words Liberty here. So again, this is pretty clearly a Draped bust large cent, and in my opinion it would definitely grade out as a poor 1. Again, we see some nicks here on the face. I don't think that that would cause it to go and be damaged at all, because it does look like that is older damage. There is some varieties with the rim, and I don't think that this one is what they call like a nicked rim. There is a rim that has, I wouldn't call it reeds, but an early attempt at starting to put reeds in, and I don't think this is one of those either. So anyway, there is the Draped bust large cent under the microscope. We're going to give this a grade of poor 1. So let's go ahead and add it to the album, and then finally I'll share with you what I paid for the coin. Okay, and welcome back, everybody. If you remember from one of my very earliest video, we added the coronet braided hair, and the hole was not quite big enough. That is a known issue. They do include a replacement page, but to me this was fine. So we're going to go ahead and add the coin here and see if it fits. I think I have the plastic. Yep, and it fits very snugly in there, even for being as worn as it is. So stick around. We'll go ahead and do a recap quickly of the album. I'll share some updated photos, and then finally I'll tell you what I paid for this 1797 Draped bust large set. And here are the updated album photos. This will probably be the cadence of video uploads moving forward, probably every month, give or take a week. And here is the updated running cost for the typeset. I paid $61 for the Draped bust coin and about $3.30 in shipping, bringing the total cost to the coins to $3,720.90. Paid $43 $279 in shipping for a grand total of $3,764.69.